sees me. Oh yeah. She sees me. But he's out. Hey guys. Hey, it's Mark Shepard, Healing Pastors, the Farm Church, and I gotta get going. But I just did my chores. It's Saturday, the 18th of March already, and I just had a wonderful session with Spike and Luna, and I didn't videotape it. I just put them both on a slip lead, and we just walked back and forth. And stopped and turned and walked back and forth, and they were actually walking really nicely on the lead. And I need to walk them every day. So that's one of my resolutions. And thinking about the Sunday message. I'm not sure what it's going to be yet, but I'm thinking. I think it's going to have to do with a little bit of what we talked about last week, the power of your mind. And I had a couple of moments this week when just real discouragement, depression, that dry and dirty feeling of the soul, I don't know what it is, came in. And I used some of my tools, and I think they worked because I feel a lot better. But partly the weather is more snow, more wind, more gray. Just, I'm kind of done. I like snow. I like winter. We're halfway through March. We're more than halfway through March. Spring is next Tuesday or Wednesday, I think. What do you do? What do you do when you just feel down and there feels like there's no point, there's no hope, hopeless, helpless, victim, self-pity, the human experience. So I hope you'll stick around. We're going to explore that a little bit, and then I have a song for you, and I hope you'll stick around and listen to that, and then I'll give you some animal updates. The ducklings are growing really fast. The dogs are doing well. The sheep are starting to shed. So all that and more in this exciting episode of the Sunday Message, which is coming up next. And if you're not a subscriber yet, please subscribe. Please leave a comment below. Please give us a thumbs up. Please share this with someone you like talking about deep stuff with. And hopefully my nose isn't running too much down my face. Yeah. So that's 3 minutes that most people won't even sit through. Let's do it, people. Here comes the Sunday Message. Boom. Well, it's March. It is March 19th, Sunday. It's time for the Sunday Message. And I don't feel like it. I just don't feel like it. It's just gray. Look at this gray. The sun hasn't even come up yet. I don't know why I'm up so early. I just want to sleep in. I just want to go to the grocery store and buy my food. I don't want to have to grow it. I just want to sit and scroll through social media all day so I don't have to do anything or create anything. And I think I want to just drink alcohol and do drugs. Yeah, I think that would solve a lot of my problems. People, we all experience tough times. We all experience dark times, and today, I wanted to share some of the tools I use to help get through the tough times. And these are tools that I discovered over 20 years ago, almost a quarter of a century ago, that have helped me. They're not the only thing, and sometimes they don't seem to work, but then I realize, oh, they did work. So I'm going to share with you some of the tools and tips that I use to get through really tough days. So here we go. Boom. So the very first thing, and I've shared this before, is to notice what my self-talk is. And quite often my self-talk is, this will never work. No matter what I do, I can never blah, 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 right? That's the sentence that gets me starting down a spiral. When something that I'm working on, like this music project, Life in Song, a Life in Song, over 500 songs that I'm trying to record and preserve. And a lot of times I say it's for me, but sometimes it's like, it'd be really nice if somebody else watched these. It'd be really nice if thousands, millions of people could actually enjoy my music and get some value from it. And it doesn't happen. It hasn't happened. Seems like it's never going to happen. And so I start what I call my death spiral. And I go, what's the point? Nobody listens. Why do I bother? No matter what I do, I can never get it out. That's my negative, traumatic, little mark crap. So the first thing I notice, okay, I'm saying things that take me down. I am saying things that are like the compost heap behind me, just the dregs of all the crappy thoughts I've ever had, and I'm now repeating those on a loop in my head. So that's the first thing I have to interrupt, and I have to interrupt it by going, why does it work out better than I could possibly imagine? This may seem bad now, Mark, but why does it work out better than I could possibly imagine? Sometimes that is enough, and just chanting it, like whenever I drive, I just repeat it over and over again. That seems to help. But then sometimes it's not enough. Sometimes it just feels like I feel like my table here. Like I'm just cluttered inside with crap, right? So that's when I start rolling my eyes. Now, when you roll your eyes, you're actually moving your eyes through visual, auditory, kinesthetic. So when you're moving your eyes and rolling them, you're scrambling your dominant thought patterns, right? And this is actually something from the ancient Toltecs of Mexico. And you can look up and down, you can up and down, across, like up and down at an angle, and then you can roll them, right? And that's another way to help shift. But sometimes you have to just wait a minute and go, oh, that actually did something, huh? Another tool I use is called emotional freedom technique, and it involves tapping on acupuncture meridians. So I will do that. And also, for a long time, I felt like if I did this in my car or in public, people would laugh at me. So that would interrupt a pattern too, because I'd be like, oh, I don't give a F what people think, because I'm doing this weird thing. And sometimes that's enough to shift it, right? Another thing is getting busy on a project. Getting busy on some kind of project that you actually want to do, and that you don't care if anybody wants it or likes it or whatever. Just do something for you. So those are a couple of tips that I use, and it's probably too windy, so I'm going to have to move this someplace else. Let's move it inside. So here I am in my studio. This is where all the magic happens. And it's just a small little area. My bed is behind this curtain. And taking my own recording into my own hands, as much as I adored collaborating with Joe Monona for years, and before that with Gene Moore, I loved watching them just bring some kind of spark and light into my music. But being able to do all that myself brings me great joy. So it's a weird loop, because sometimes I feel so discouraged because I put all this work into my music, and then trying to get people to listen to it seems to be yet another, oh, light was in my eyes, yet another impossible task. But when I follow the impossible tasks, when I say yes to this whole farming thing, there's a certain level of being pulled out of myself. I don't know if that makes sense. I have animals that depend on me, and I will put taking care of them ahead of my own emotional state. So in the past, where I might have just kind of collapsed and, gone into some kind of escapist thing and just spent the afternoon watching, movies or TV shows or doing other escapist things, I have to take care of the animals. And so I have to get out. I have to get out of my bubble and to get outside in even the nastiest weather. And that gives me a purpose. It gives me, for lack of a better word, it gives me a friendly enemy. It gives me something to strive against. Like, I'm going to survive this. I'm going to make sure the animals make it through this storm, or make sure they're not, under undue stress, blah, blah, blah. So it helps get me out of my me, singer-songwriter narcissism, right? So those are a couple of things that you might want to try. The why does it work out better than I could possibly imagine thing. Very powerful, very simple. You can do it anywhere. You just have to remember to do it. Because when we ask ourselves a why question, our unconscious minds literally are hardwired to begin to build evidence to that. When we ask negative questions like, why do I bother? Why should I even bother? Right? Your unconscious mind goes, let's make a list of all the horrible things in your life and why it's not worth pursuing, and why you should just curl up in a ball and just give up, right? That's very dangerous thinking. Your mind and the thoughts you think have power. And every time I felt this old depression thing come in, sure enough, I've been making images and I've been saying things. It's the images we make to ourselves, the things we say to ourselves, and the feelings we focus on and make big inside ourselves. And so when I have a challenge, when I feel like, I've been doing these Sunday messages now for a year. I have not missed a Sunday since last March. Every Sunday, I have done a Sunday message. And I am getting responses from people who say, hey, these are helpful. These are helpful, and I look forward to them, and I watch them. Thank you, right? I need to make that big in my mind rather than make big in my mind the fact that, I don't even have 1,000 subscribers, and some of my best friends don't even watch, and there are people who I know watch and they don't leave comments, and there's a couple of people who leave comments, and I love those people, and yeah, but nobody else does. I could focus on all that stuff. And for me, the most dangerous thing is when I see some young person who is famous for writing songs, and they're 23, and everybody in the world wants to hear their songs, and nobody seems to want to hear my songs, even though I've been writing for 50 years. No one wants to hear an old guy's songs, right? That's what when I start saying that, that's me getting into trouble with my own crap. And so having animals and having a farm and knowing that I am being called to be a healer and to share the things I've learned in my own struggle in a way that hopefully can help other people, whether I benefit from that or not. It's like Moses got his people to the promised land, but he did not cross over into the promised land. Sometimes you just have to do what you're being called to do and not expecting a payoff or a payout or accolades. Sometimes that's hard. Oh, well, right? I have movement in all 4 of my appendages. Like I can walk, I can move, I can feed myself, right? I can go outside and experience the beauty and the wonder of nature. Like I have so much. And so our focus is a powerful thing. And the mind cannot process a negative. So like you wouldn't say to someone, don't forget your keys. You would say, remember your keys. Like, and here's another example. Don't think of a blue tree. Whatever you tell yourself not, your unconscious mind doesn't hear the not. Right? So I can say to myself, whatever you do, Mark, don't feel great. Right? Whatever you do, don't focus on the things you're doing well. Whatever you do, don't succeed. Don't persevere, right? Mostly, we need to focus on the things we say to ourselves, the pictures we're running inside our mind, the hopeless, helpless pictures, and the beliefs that we are unconsciously adhering to. And one of the beliefs that I have had all my life is, oh, nobody wants to hear your music. Nobody wants to hear my music. Nobody wants to hear my music. And that is a depressing thought for a singer-songwriter. Because what is music if not something to be shared? What is it that you do that you tell yourself you can't? What is it you do that causes you to create suffering for yourself? Those are the questions we need to root out and interrupt. Those are the patterns we need to pattern interrupt. We need to just scratch the record needle on them. Whoop, 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 and change them. So the Sunday message this week is we all have gray days. We all have days when we wish spring would come. We all have days when it's windy, when the mistral blows in our lives, and it just seems like we can't get out of our own way, or we can't do the thing that we think would make us happy. But the reality is we all have the power to make ourselves happy right now. But there's one underlying thing. We're all headed to the same place. We all have a finite lifespan. And if we spend our lives in quiet desperation, like whose fault is that? It's not a fault, but change the thoughts you think and it will change your life. And again, this message is often for me. And if it helps you, great. Our thoughts, we take everywhere with us. I used to say to my hypnosis clients, hey, who's the most powerful hypnotist? And they would go, you, sir? You, Mr. Shepard? Huh? I'm like, no, you are the most powerful hypnotist because you are walking around telling yourself what to believe, what is true, all day long. You are telling yourself often lies that keep you small. Very few people tell themselves lies that lead them to success. And there's a danger in that too, because you could lie to yourself and tell yourself you're great and so you don't need to work hard, or you're great and you don't need to practice, or you're this or that or the other thing. It's the victim stories that we tell ourselves that are lies. We have power. We have power, people. Change your mind. Change your life. Set aside the fear and strife. Together, we can change the world. I don't know if I want to use this. It's 11 minutes. Ugh, too long. Nobody will listen. It's just too long. Everybody wants short stuff today. Oh, why does it work out better than I can possibly imagine? And I'm sending out prayers to all of you out there who I imagine could use this message on this gloomy gray March Sunday. The light is coming. Spring is coming. Summer days are coming. Hang in there. Trust that this too shall pass and that you can persevere. You can prevail. You can become the human being that you have longed to be all your life, and that step by step, mouthful by mouthful, you are becoming a way better person than you started out. A person who I think you're going to like being. Sending out prayers to that person. Sending out prayers to those who are so wounded that they can't see that they are a beautiful creation of whatever it is created us. All that is, whatever it is, God, the universe, Gaia, the earth. What is the being, the force that caused us to be here and have awareness in the first place? That's a miracle, and I send out prayers to all of you who could use a miracle today. Peace, love, grooviness. Amen. Decided to end, and our hearts are certainly on the mend. Can you comprehend how good it feels to look up and see blue sky begin to break through, and the clouds of gray beginning to blow away? Hey, 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 hey. Gravity sometimes drags you down. Relax, stretch out on the ground. Look up and watch the blue break through. Whoa, watch the blue break through. I see the blue breaking through. Do you catch a glimpse of it too? What's it like to be brand new? I can't say I knew it would work this way. Had a moment when I had to keep fear at bay, but at the end of a very long day, I have to say we found a way to have fun while we got the job done. And I want to thank everyone who joined in and helped turn work into play. Hip hip hooray, hip hip hooray. I see the blue breaking through. Catch a glimpse of it too. What's it like to be brand new? So what's next? Where do we go from here? Climb with me up to where the air is clear and watch the blue break through for you.
watch the blue break through. I see the blue breaking through. Do you catch a glimpse of it too? What's it like to be brand new? I see the blue breaking through. Do you catch a glimpse of it too? What's it like to be brand new? I see the blue breaking through. Do you catch a glimpse of it too? What's it like to be brand new?
Look at these sheep. They're the goofiest things ever. Pretty goofy. Hello, kids. How's my girls? How's my girls? You guys are nice and cozy in here. How's my girl? Yeah, do I smell good? How are you? How are you? How are you, sweetie pie? How's my girl? Yeah. How you doing, big girl? My rubber tummy. How's my girl? Hmm? What are you thinking? Sitting down? Anybody want to rub? Anybody want a rubby tub? Want a rubber tummy? Huh? A rubber tummy? That's a girl? You going? Yes, she does. She wants a rub. You want a rubber tummy? Can't quite get in here. Can't quite get in here. It's okay. It's okay, baby. Rub your tummy. Rub your tummy. Look at Red Girl. She's so pretty. She's so pretty.